Let me ask you a question. How many dreams have you delayed? Not because you weren't ready, but because a quiet voice inside you told you you are not enough. That voice, that inner critic, she's loud, but she's not the truth. And today we are going to learn how you can heal that inner critic for good and silence every self-doubt. I'm Oluwagbenro Ajayi, and this space is for women who are rising in leadership, in purpose, in wealth, and in wholeness. I've spent years building a life that I love and that I would want to have in the future. But let me tell you, I had to first quiet that voice inside me that said I didn't deserve it, that wants to discourage me. That's why this work is sacred to me and why I'm honored to share it with you. On this journey of healing your inner critic and silencing self-doubt for good as a woman, in today's conversation, we'll be considering where your inner critic actually comes from and how to recognize it without letting her run the show all the time. And then most importantly, you will learn how to transform self-doubt into self-trust. This isn't about being louder than the fear. It's about becoming still enough to hear the truth beneath it. You don't have to push harder. You just have to return home to yourself. Let's begin. The first step is to name the inner critic. The inner critic thrives in silence. So the first step is to give her a name. Seriously, mine, I call her Georgie Dev. She shows up when I'm about to try something bold. Maybe a new offer, a speaking gig, a boundary, and she whispers, "Who do you think you are?" Naming her gives me the space to separate my soul from my fear. She's not the enemy. She's just a protective part of me, just outdated. So what you can do to silence your inner critic is to first, you give her a name and a personality. Try to identify it whenever it speaks to you. Write down whatever she usually says to you. This helps you to meet her with awareness, not with shame. Even though you are not your thoughts, you can actually be the awareness behind your thoughts. Step number 2 in healing your inner critic and healing self-doubt is to trace our origins. What are the things that make it to occur? Your inner critic was born in a moment you were trying to stay safe most of the time. Maybe it was childhood, maybe it was a workplace that minimized your voice, or a relationship where being too much got you hurt. She learned to shrink, to please, to perfect, so you'd belong. But now, you are not that little girl anymore. You don't have to please everybody. You are a grown woman. You have your own kind of bright future in your hand that you are envisioning. And so, it's time to update the script. But one thing you need to do is to ask yourself, where did I first learn to doubt myself? When did I learn to disbelieve myself? And gently, without judgment, begin to unlearn it. Now I want you to say this with me. I release the beliefs that no longer belong to the woman I'm becoming. You can say it like 7 times to get it established in your subconscious. Let your soul know you are ready for a transformation. Now, step number 3 is to reframe the voice. The inner critic often masks herself as logic, normal reasoning, strategy, even humility. But here's the truth. She's not trying to sabotage you. She's trying to protect you from failure, rejection, or shame. So instead of silencing her harshly, speak back with compassion. When she says, "This will never work," you say, "Thank you for your concern, but I choose growth. It will work out." Now, here is an exercise you can carry out in order to reframe the phrases. You need to write down 3 of your inner critic's common phrases. Now, rewrite them as a wise, loving coach would. Once you have done this, you begin to repeat it to yourself over and over again so that anytime that inner critic shows up again, you'll be able to answer in a loving way. So say with me, my power is louder than my fear. Does that mean you will begin to do things rashly without listening to your spirit? No. That's why we go to step number 4. You need to embody your inner guide. Inside every woman, there is an inner guide. A wise, grounded, unshakable presence. She doesn't shout, but she knows. To connect with her, you need to create stillness. Morning rituals, evening meditations or early morning meditations. Even 1 minute of deep breathing invites her back. So you breathe in and then you make your atmosphere serene. Imagine that your inner guide is standing beside you, tall, calm, knowing. What will you say to you right now? She's not here to hustle, she's here to lead. I trust the voice within me that leads with love. Step number 5 is to take an aligned action. Self-trust is not built by thinking, it's built by doing. Every time you take a small aligned step, even while your inner critic shatters, you rewrite your nervous system for courage. So, even though it's good to say, but you have to do. Take action. Now, you have to choose one bold action you've been avoiding. Ask, what's one tiny step I can take today, even if I'm scared? Then do it gently and proudly. That's how you heal. That's how you rise. I want you to say this to yourself. I move forward even when my fear follows behind. If you are yet to subscribe to our channel, what are you waiting for? Kindly smash that subscribe button and journey with us as we become better version of ourselves as women. Now, if any part of this touched something true in you, you are not alone. In the comments, I invite you to share. What does your inner critic usually say? Let's name her together and begin to rewrite the story. Once again, if this video brought you peace, clarity, or power, hit subscribe and let's keep rising as old, wealthy, and wise women. Remember, you don't have to be louder than your doubts. You just have to be more loyal to your truths. Keep listening to the quiet knowing within you. She's your home. She's your compass. She's your power. And if you are ready to write your morning story, watch our next video. It's for you.